In our last video, we talked about independent shops closing across the country, and the proof hit the comments hard. Viewer Mike from Ohio wrote that the last honest mechanic in his county just retired, and the nearest shop that would touch his older truck is now 90 miles away. Viewer Sandra in Texas said she waited 11 weeks for a part her dealer claimed was available, and the shop still could not get it. These are not isolated stories. This is a pattern, and it is accelerating faster than most people realize. Here is what the dealerships and the private equity chains are absolutely banking on. They are betting you do nothing. They are betting you wait until your vehicle breaks down, then hand over the keys and accept whatever they decide to charge you. The shops that knew your name and your engine are disappearing at more than 1,000 per year. The parts ecosystem for older vehicles is rotting out from underneath you. And if you are still driving anything built before 2000, the window to protect yourself is closing right now. The answer is a targeted parts stockpile. Smart owners are identifying the 5 or 6 components most likely to strand them. The parts that are already getting hard to find, already getting replaced with cheap offshore junk. And they are buying original quality parts right now, while they can still get them. Today, we are walking through exactly which parts to buy, where to buy them, and how to store them so your vehicle keeps running long after the shop down the street turns into a collision chain that will not even talk to you. I know how this sounds. It sounds like prepping. Stay with me, because this is not about paranoia. This is about arithmetic. Independent shop closures continue to accelerate across the industry. We are projected to lose a significant share of remaining independents over the next few years. The average automotive technician is around 40 years old, and the pipeline of new entrants is not keeping pace with retirements. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects roughly 70,000 annual job openings for automotive service technicians each year through 2034, with a large share of those openings driven by retirements rather than growth. That is not a blip. That is a structural collapse that is already underway. Viewer Dale from Missouri put it perfectly in the comments. He said his local shop owner told him straight up, retiring at 62, nobody to take over. The diagnostic subscription for just one manufacturer's scan tool costs more than $10,000 a year. The math does not work for a small shop anymore. When that shop closes, Dale's options become a dealership that charges $150 an hour or a drive that takes most of a day. So let us get into the actual stockpile. Here is what to buy, why it fails, and what happens if you cannot find it when you need it. The first part every pre-2000 GM owner needs on the shelf is the HEI distributor. The high-energy ignition system that General Motors ran through the 70s and into the mid-80s is a brilliant piece of engineering, but it has 2 failure points that will leave you stranded with 0 warning. The ignition module overheats, the solder joints crack, and the engine simply stops. Or the pickup coil degrades and you lose your timing signal entirely. A complete rebuilt Delco unit runs you $100 to $300 right now. When the original quality units are gone from the aftermarket shelves, what replaces them are zinc alloy housings with brittle plastic caps that crack at 50,000 miles. The original ran 200,000 plus. Buy the quality unit now. Summit Racing and Rock Auto both stock them. This is the one part that will strand you on a highway with no warning and no negotiation. But here is where it gets more complicated than most people expect. The carburetor problem is not just about the part going away. The fuel is actively destroying what is left. Ethanol blends dissolve the original rubber gaskets and gum up the float valves inside carburetors like the Rochester Quadrajet. GM phased out carbureted engines by 1990 as emissions regulations pushed the industry fully to fuel injection, and the supply of quality rebuilt and new old stock carburetor components has been contracting ever since. What you find on the shelf today is either a rebuilt unit or an offshore casting that does not meet the original tolerances. A quality rebuilt Holly 2-barrel runs $200 to $400. Buy it now, seal it in a climate-controlled space, and you have the insurance policy that keeps a carbureted engine running when the ethanol finally wins the fight against your current unit. Viewer Tom from Kansas wrote something that our entire comment section backed up. He said he spent 3 weekends calling every parts house in his region trying to find a mechanical fuel pump for his '89 Chevy. Nobody stocked it. One shop offered to order it. 6-week lead time. Estimated 35% chance the part was actually in the supplier's warehouse versus back-ordered from overseas. Tom ended up finding a Carter unit through Rock Auto for $50. He bought 3. That is the move. A Carter mechanical fuel pump is $50. A tow truck and a shop visit when you cannot find one is $500 minimum. If you can even find a shop that will work on a carburetor engine, buy 3. They store indefinitely in a sealed bag in a cool, dry space. This is where the rebellion goes deeper than just individual parts. The water pump on pre-2000 engines is a centrifugal design with a metal impeller. That metal impeller is the difference between a pump that lasts 100,000 miles and a pump that fails at 40,000. The aftermarket replacements that are flooding the catalog right now use plastic impellers that cavitate, crack, and fail. When ordering a replacement water pump, confirm the impeller material before you buy. Some manufacturers, including Gates, use metal impellers on certain applications and plastic on others, so verify the specific part before purchasing. A quality water pump with a metal impeller runs around $40 for many older domestic engines. The failure mode, cracked plastic impeller, costs you an overheated engine, potential head gasket damage, and a repair bill that can climb past $2,000, $40 now, or $2,000 later. That math is not complicated. Viewer Carol from Georgia said she found this out the hard way when her mechanic showed her the plastic impeller he pulled out of her truck. It had shattered. The shop had installed an aftermarket unit 2 years earlier. She had no idea the quality had degraded that badly. Now she confirms impeller material by name when she orders any cooling system component. The alternator situation deserves its own conversation. On pre-2000 trucks running the classic Delco SI series alternators, the original units were die-cast aluminum with replaceable brushes and bolt-on external components that you could service on the side of the road. The offshore replacements coming in now are zinc housings, non-serviceable brush packs, and integrated designs that fail as a unit. A quality replacement alternator runs $100. When your truck goes dark on the highway, lights, ignition, everything, because the charging system quit, you will pay whatever anyone asks. Buy the quality unit before the quality unit is gone. And now the mechanic's reality check that applies to all 5 of these parts simultaneously. Private equity consolidation has reshaped the auto repair landscape dramatically. Caliber Collision, backed by private equity, now operates over 1,800 locations focused on collision repair. Driven Brands, a separate private equity-backed company, controls over 4,800 locations across brands including Meineke, Maico, CarStar, and Take 5 Oil Change. Hundreds of private equity deals have hit the broader auto repair and aftermarket sector since 2020. These chains are not interested in a 30-year-old truck with a carburetor. They are interested in high-margin collision work and late-model vehicles with warranty labor rates. The independent mechanic who knew your engine, stocked the parts, and charged you a fair labor rate is being systematically eliminated, not by incompetence, but by capital. Brian Homan, who runs Accurate Automotive in Burlington, Massachusetts, said it directly. He said essentially every car now is 50 computers with 4 tires on it. His point was that the diagnostic tools required to work on modern vehicles cost more than a small shop can justify. And that same economic wall is pushing the old school mechanics who knew how to fix mechanical vehicles into retirement with no succession. The knowledge is retiring. The shops are closing. The parts are degrading. All 3 crises are hitting simultaneously. Now for the storage piece, because this is where a lot of people leave money on the table. Rubber components, fuel pump diaphragms, carburetor gaskets, water pump seals, degrade in humidity and temperature extremes. A sealed plastic bag with a silica gel desiccant pack, stored in a temperature-stable space like a climate-controlled garage or basement, extends the shelf life of rubber components by years. Electronic components like modules and sensors need the same treatment. Photograph every part number before you store it. Keep a simple spreadsheet with the part number, the purchase date, the supplier, and what vehicle it fits. When you need it at midnight on a Sunday because your truck will not start and every shop is closed, you will know exactly where it is and exactly what it fits. We are not helpless consumers waiting for the next supply chain crisis to strand us. We are the people who read the situation, ran the math, and acted before the window closed. We are engineers, fabricators, and problem solvers. If the quality aftermarket part disappears, we source NOS. If the shop closes, we turn our own wrenches. If the dealer says the part is discontinued, we find the machine shop that will fabricate it. The system is contracting around the people who wait. It is opening up for the people who prepare. Every part number, supplier link, and storage protocol referenced in this video is compiled in the full field guide linked in the description. Now we want to hear from you. What parts are you already stockpiling? Is there a specific component on your vehicle that you cannot find at quality anymore? Something where the new aftermarket version is garbage compared to what you pulled off 20 years ago? Drop it in the comments below because your experience is writing the survival guide for every other owner in this community. Keep turning your own wrenches.